His girlfriend told him she was driving 600 kilometers to visit her family for a week. What she didn't know was that just a few hours later, he'd be standing across the street, staring at her through a restaurant window, laughing, smiling, holding hands with another man. And over the next several weeks, instead of exploding, instead of confronting her, instead of begging for answers, he quietly planned one of the coldest revenge moves I've ever heard. By the time she realized what was happening, she was standing in the middle of an empty apartment, surrounded by piles of her own clothes, with nowhere to go. And honestly, she'd earned every second of it. Before we jump in, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around, because this story has one of the most satisfying endings you'll hear all week. Now let's get into it. This happened to a buddy of mine several years ago. We'll call him Ryan. Ryan wasn't some revenge-obsessed guy. Actually, he was the exact opposite. Quiet, level-headed, the kind of person who'd rather solve a problem than start a fight. For almost 4 years, he'd been living with his girlfriend. Let's call her Ashley. At first, everything seemed great. They shared an apartment, split expenses, made future plans together. To outsiders, they looked like one of those couples who had everything figured out. But behind closed doors, things had started falling apart. Arguments became more frequent. Conversations became shorter. The warmth disappeared. You know that feeling when someone is physically in the room with you, but emotionally feels 1,000 miles away. That's where their relationship had ended up. Ryan noticed the changes. Ashley was suddenly protective of her phone, always texting, always smiling at messages she never explained. She started staying late after work. Then came the excuses. I'm out with friends. I lost track of time. I'm staying at Sora's tonight. Little things. Nothing he could prove, but enough to make his stomach twist every time she walked through the door. Still, Ryan wanted to believe her, because sometimes the truth is terrifying and denial feels safer. Then one day, Ashley announced she was going to visit her family. Apparently, they needed help with something. She'd be gone for about a week. Ryan kissed her goodbye, watched her drive away, and tried to ignore the strange feeling sitting in his chest. 3 days later, Ryan was downtown running errands. Just another ordinary afternoon. Cars passing, people eating lunch. Nothing unusual. Until he looked across a busy street and saw someone familiar. His brain didn't even process it at first, because what he was seeing made absolutely no sense. There, sitting on a restaurant patio, was Ashley, 600 kilometers away from her family. Or at least, that's where she was supposed to be. Instead, she was sitting 2 miles from their apartment, across from her ex-boyfriend. Not just talking, not just catching up, flirting, touching, laughing. In that way, people laugh when they're trying to impress each other. The kind of laugh Ryan hadn't heard from her in months. His heart dropped. That sick, hollow feeling hit him instantly, like all the oxygen had vanished from the world. For a moment, he just stood there, frozen, watching the person he loved act like their relationship didn't exist. Then something happened. Instead of storming over, instead of screaming, instead of creating a scene, Ryan pulled out his phone and started taking pictures. 1, 2, 3. Ashley smiling, Ashley holding his hand, Ashley leaning close. Evidence. Undeniable evidence. The entire time they never noticed him. Not once. And somehow that hurt even more. Most people would have confronted her immediately. Ryan didn't, because standing there, looking at those photos, something inside him changed. The relationship was over. He knew it. The only question was how he wanted the ending to happen. When he got home, he sat alone in the apartment, silence filling every room. And that's when he remembered something important. The lease. Ashley wasn't on it. The apartment was entirely under his name. Month to month, 60 days notice required. An idea started forming. Not an impulsive idea, not an angry idea, a calculated one. And over the next few days, it grew into a plan. A beautiful plan. Ryan contacted the landlord, explained everything, showed him the photos. Thankfully, the landlord was one of those rare people who actually cared. A good guy. After hearing the story, he agreed to help. No drama, no questions, just cooperation. Ryan submitted his notice, found a new apartment, signed paperwork, scheduled movers, and then he waited. This is where the story becomes legendary. Because for nearly 2 months, Ryan said absolutely nothing. Ashley came home after her fake family trip, acted like everything was normal, lied directly to his face, and Ryan played along, not because he was weak, because he was patient. Every lie she told added another brick to the wall she was building around herself, and she had no idea. Occasionally, she'd disappear overnight. Staying with friends, Ryan would simply nod. Okay. She'd come home late. Work was crazy. Okay. At one point, he even suggested couples therapy, not because he wanted to save the relationship, because it helped maintain the illusion. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, everything was moving perfectly. Potential tenants toured the apartment while Ashley was away. The landlord coordinated schedules. Ryan slowly packed important belongings, moved valuables, prepared for the transition. Every single detail handled quietly, carefully. Ashley remained completely oblivious. She thought she was controlling the situation. She thought she had all the power. She thought she could keep one foot in her comfortable relationship while secretly entertaining another. And that's exactly what made the ending so satisfying. Because arrogance blinds people. And Ashley was walking straight into a wall. Finally, moving day arrived. Early morning, the sun had barely come up. Ryan was already awake, calm, focused, ready. Then came the knock. The movers, professional, efficient, relentless. Boxes started appearing. Furniture started disappearing. The apartment transformed in real time. Ashley emerged from the bedroom looking confused, hair messy, still half asleep. What are all these people doing here? Ryan didn't answer immediately. He simply handed her an envelope. Inside were printed photographs, the restaurant, the patio, the hand-holding, the smiling, the lies. Ashley flipped through them. The color drained from her face. Suddenly she understood. Everything. The secret distance, the lack of emotion, the calmness, the waiting, all of it. What is this? She asked, even though she already knew. Ryan looked at her, completely calm. No yelling, no insults, no rage, just quiet certainty. We're done. Silence, then panic, then excuses, then tears, then anger. The entire emotional cycle unfolding in minutes. But Ryan was already past it, weeks past it, maybe months. While she'd been sneaking around, he'd been grieving, healing, planning, moving on. And then came the knockout punch. The landlord stepped inside. He informed Ashley that because she wasn't on the lease and because the lease had ended, she needed to remove her belongings by midnight. New tenants were moving in shortly. The apartment had to be cleared. No exceptions, no negotiations, no extensions. Ashley stared at him, then at Ryan, then around the apartment. The reality finally hit. This wasn't a threat. This wasn't an argument. This wasn't a warning. It was already happening. As movers carried away couches, tables, shelves, and furniture, Ashley experienced one final realization. Almost everything inside the apartment belonged to Ryan. The couch, his. The television, his. The dining table, his. The bed frame, his. The dressers, his. Piece by piece, her comfortable life disappeared through the front door, until all that remained were piles of clothes, shoes, toiletries, personal items scattered across the floor like the aftermath of a storm. Ryan later told us she looked completely stunned, like someone who had spent months believing she held all the cards, only to discover she'd been playing a different game entirely. Before leaving, he snapped one final photograph. Ashley standing in the middle of the empty apartment, surrounded by heaps of belongings. No furniture, no safety net, no lies left, just consequences. Then he walked out, no screaming, no revenge speech, no dramatic goodbye, just peace. And honestly, that's what made it so devastating, because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And by that point, Ryan simply didn't care anymore. There's a lesson buried inside this story. A lot of people think revenge means yelling louder, getting even immediately, making a scene. But sometimes the most powerful response is patience. Sometimes it's allowing someone to keep making choices until they eventually trap themselves. Ashley lost her relationship because she chose deception. Ryan simply stepped aside and let the consequences arrive. And when they did, they arrived all at once. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more unbelievable Reddit revenge stories. And tell me in the comments, did Ryan go too far? Or was this the perfect response to betrayal? I'll be reading every comment. And until next time, remember, trust is hard to earn, easy to lose, and sometimes the people who break it discover that karma has a very long memory.